Hi and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, please like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can get all of our new content. And also, if you're into film reviews and home theater stuff, we do a lot of home theater reviews on this channel, where in our 4K UHD disc reviews, we do giveaways for the disc that we're reviewing. So please, if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. So today's video I'm doing because I, talk a lot about things about the Tesla, and it's all positive, for the most part. I did have one about a service call, but generally the overwhelmingness of it is that all of my videos are pretty positive to the Tesla, and they should be, because I do absolutely love the car. But today's video, just to play devil's advocate, I am doing some negatives about the Tesla. So I put together a list, and it was 8 things that I hate about the car. It was 8, but a little bit before this video, I remembered another one that makes it a 9. And you will really see I'm really scraping the bottom of the barrel for these. It's real nitpicking here, so, which is a good thing. But nevertheless, there are things that bother me, and they might bother you. None of it is enough to not want the car, or to buy a car if I was watching this video and learning about Teslas, unless one of these things is something that you just cannot live with, which I don't imagine, because none of them are too major. Except the number one on my list, that it's a little major, but they are working on it, and I've noticed, even with the newest update that just came out, an improvement working towards that. So on my list, I'll start with actually I said 8 and then it became 9. It's 7 that became 8. I had a list of 7 and then I remembered another one just before doing this video. So I'll start with that one, because that one's probably the smallest, and that is when you're moving the visor, unless your seat is like way back. I'm not a person that sits way back. I know some people do like their seats way back. I kind of like, to sit in a proper posture. I've gone to chiropractors, and I've just learned to be conscious of my posture all the time. And I have to say, these seats are absolutely fantastic. The lumbar support, everything. This is the most comfortable car seat I've ever sat in my life, whether it's a car I owned or friends' cars. So that's a positive, but we're talking about the negatives. So the visor, unless your seat's back pretty far, you cannot move it because of the way this headrest sits, because the headrest kind of sits forward at an angle. So you kind of have to be back pretty far to be able to move this. There's a call coming, come on. And it's just annoying. I mean, it's something little. You can move your seat back to move it, but while you're driving and you get the sun moving, especially the time of day where the sun's going down or rising, it's a little bit of annoyance. So that's number 8 on my list. Number 7, and this only applies to the X and the Y, or the Model 3 and the Y, because the Model S and the X, this is not an issue, and that is the lack of Sirius XM radio. I like Sirius XM radio. It's not a major thing. I've probably listened to Spotify more because I listen to a lot of podcasts. But it's just nice to have it. We subscribe to it because my wife has it in her car. And it's odd for a car of this price range to not have it included. Even just the app is all they need to put on there, which is possible because they have it in the X and the Y. So it's just kind of an odd thing. And sort of 7B is the lack of Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. It's just odd that it's not in here. You have the great Tesla interface and system, but it would be nice to have the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay on here, just for, like, if you want to use their GPS, or Waze or anything else. And if you subscribe to Amazon Music, Amazon's not on here. Anything that's not on here, but you want to play through your phone, it would just make it easier. And you still can, because it does connect to it through Bluetooth. So if you do use the navigation, if you are using Amazon Music or Audible, you are still hearing it. It just would be nice to have that connectivity so it shows up on the screen like it does with Android Auto and CarPlay. So number 6 on my list of things that annoy me, and this is kind of, I don't know if it's Tesla's fault or the phone's fault, But periodically, when I get in the car, my contacts are not synced with the car. So if I want to use the voice command to call someone or text someone and say their name, I can't because it's not picking up the contact name in the Tesla interface. And honestly, like I said, I don't know if it's a Tesla thing or a phone problem. Leave a comment below with your experience with that. I am on an Android, the Galaxy S21 Plus, and it happens not frequently, but enough to be an annoyance. So I'd like to hear what people with other phones, their experience. And I never had that problem with my other vehicle, so that's why I've noticed it. And then the next one kind of goes back to where you would use a different navigation system, and that's the navigation system in here. I like it, especially since it gives you the charger locations if need be, but I don't like that it does not give you alternate route options. So it's just an odd thing, because sometimes, navigation systems like to put you on back roads. I noticed with this, it goes by distance. So it goes by mileage instead of time. Because I did a drive recently where it took me on all these back roads because it was less mileage, but the miles per hour was so much less because I was going to be on a highway, and it brought me right back onto that highway. So I would like to, if planning out a route, I'd like to be able to see that and choose an alternate route. I realized it because I know that route. So just something hopefully they could fix in an update, and that is something they could definitely fix with a software update. And then my number 5 would be the braking intensity. When you let go of the accelerator, it's kind of a pretty intense braking. Like it's not like a slow roll. Now there's options for creep, roll, and hold for your braking. Hold is definitely the more intense. But even if you have it on creep or roll, the slowdown is pretty harsh when you let off the accelerator. So if you're coming up to a red light, that's what they call the one pedal driving, which is very nice once you're used to it. But the braking is pretty harsh, and it does take time to get used to. Once you're used to it, honestly, it's not that bad, except for how it affects what'll be my number one thing that I hate about the car. And I will actually go on to explain that this one and the number one reason, or number one thing that I dislike about the car, have been fixed a bit in the newest update. So going on to number 3, I'm kind of losing track now here. Okay, so 8 was this, 7 was SiriusXM, 6 was the contacts with your phone, 5 was the navigation, okay, and 4 was the braking intensity. So yes, my number 3, and this is in particular order, like as far as annoyance. Now this one probably seems stupid to a lot of people that it would be an annoyance, but it drives me nuts because it's just something so stupid that it is number 3 as far as how much I dislike it. And that is the windshield washer fluid. When you use the windshield washer fluid, it goes all over the car. All over the car. When you get out of your car, you're going to see a giant streak of the windshield washer fluid across the entire side of your vehicle. It's such an annoyance that when I had a Tesla service call, I know it's not something to fix, but he asked how I like the car, that I brought that up as like the thing I can't stand. It just drives me nuts. Now I know it's something stupid. I love the car. I'm not going to dislike the car over something so stupid, but it's just a thing that drives me nuts. It's kind of like my pet peeve of it. Alright, number 2 is the cruise control on the car. Now, I do like the cruise control on the car. What I dislike is that the cruise control is part of the assisted driving. They no matter what, when you're using cruise control, they're considering it assisted driving. And to me, no, it's not. It's cruise control. It's been around forever. It's cruise control. Assisted driving is something totally different, and that's very cool. But cruise control is cruise control. I don't care what you want to call it. And when they bundle that into being assisted driving in this vehicle, it runs into some issues. So if you're on cruise control, you can't adjust the wipers. Like, you have to hit the brakes so you're now not in cruise control and adjust the wipers. And it's very annoying. Again, it's something little. It could be fixed in a software update, so there's definitely hope for that. But it's just annoying that they bundle it and into the assisted driving, because of then it changes the kind of things that you can and can't do when using it. And my number one dislike, and this is probably number one on everybody's, if you look into message boards and everything and just follow, and it is phantom braking. Now, if you don't know what phantom braking is, it's when the car will brake or significantly slow down, and there's no reason for it. Absolutely no reason. And it's very scary, in fact, when you're going down a highway and suddenly your car brakes. You're going 70 miles an hour and the car brakes. It doesn't come to a complete stop, but it's like a significant fast slowdown. And there's nothing in the camera, there's no vehicles, but it's almost like it's sensing something in front of the vehicle or a safety issue, and it just puts on, slows acceleration and essentially braking. And it's scary, it's very annoying. A lot of times I find myself not using the assisted driving or even the cruise control, again going back to why I hate that it's bundled with the assisted driving, because of the phantom braking, especially if there's other people in the car, because I'm almost embarrassed by it, because they're like, they think I'm slamming on the brakes for no reason. It's not super common. It was super common. At least for me, when I first got the car, it was happening a lot. I thought it was just something that I had to get used to, or something I was doing, and it could have been the car learning, because it was a brand new car. But it still does happen from time to time. And it's annoying. It just happened this past weekend, and now I've owned the car for a few months now. But it's something that I really think they got to fix, and they did come out with an update recently. Now, I never looked at the release notes, so I could be crazy, but I'm definitely not. There's definitely a difference here. Is that braking intensity has come down a lot, which I also think has to do with the phantom braking, because now if the braking intensity isn't so harsh when it does the phantom braking, it wouldn't be as harsh. So now it's almost like a more traditional car, to where you kind of have to time and probably use the brakes, when you're approaching a red light, where before it was kind of one pedal. You can certainly still do one pedal, but you would have to time it perfect almost, where before you could kind of let off the brake a little bit before and it would come to a complete stop on its own, never having to use the brake. But now you definitely have to use the brake, I feel. Just in the past week since it's had the update, I've noticed that I have to use the brake. In fact, it was a little shocking when I first drove the car after the update, because I came in real hot around a turn, because I was expecting it to do the typical slowing down, and it did slow down, but it was like a lot less harsh, which is for the better, honestly. It's just now you kind of have to get used to the braking system so that you could approach the stop and turn. So that's it. Those are my top 8 things that I hate about the Tesla. Most of them are really just things I had to pick. Overall, I absolutely love the car. It's the best car I've ever owned. There's way more positives than negatives. You put it side by side with other cars, you're gonna have ticks in the Tesla box over the other car. I almost guarantee. There might be some rare vehicles out there, but for me, I love it. All those things are nitpicking, but and then a lot of them could be fixed with an update, so that's very promising. Obviously this can't be fixed with an update, but it's no big deal. Same with the windshield washer fluid. I can probably get maybe a rain guard on my windows, and that might catch a lot of it, which will prevent it from going all over my car. That's something I'll probably look into, but other than that, everything else seems like it could be fixed with an update. So here's to hoping, and then my list of 8 things would go down to maybe 1 or 2. Alright, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't, please subscribe to our channel. We'll be releasing a lot more content. I'm going to start releasing content at least once a week, probably more than that, because I have so many 4K discs. I'll start reviewing ones that are older, I'll be keeping up on reviewing ones as they come out as well. We'll be reviewing movies that are released in the theater, just the ones that I go see. You know, I'm not going to go see everything. You know, a lot of them I wait till it comes out on disc to review. But big movies, any Marvel, Star Wars, comic book movies, I'm definitely going to see in theaters because I want to. So please subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave your comments below. Let me know what are the things you dislike about your Tesla if you have one. Or if you don't have one, let me know any questions you have about it. Alright, see you in the next video.